Okay, today we're going to be talking about the place value of decimals and how to write them in expanded form and how to take a word form of a number and put it in standard form. First of all, let's look at our place value chart. If I have that number, how would I read that number? 34 hundredths. You say the name of the place the last number is in. So in this case, it's 34 hundredths. Oops. If I have that number, how would I read that? 4 thousandths, because the 4 is in the thousands place. If I had that much money in my pocket right now, how much money would I have? Okay, yeah, I would have $15.55. How much would that one be worth? If I had that much money in my pocket, how much would that one be worth? 10. Okay, this one would be worth 10, wouldn't it? How much would the 5 be worth? But how much would it be worth? Would I have a $1 bill or a $5 bill, or would I have 5 ones? What would I have? Okay, so it would be worth 5, right? Perfect. And if I had that in my pocket, what would I have? How much is that worth? 50 cents, or you could call it 5 tenths, right? And how about the last 5? How much is that worth? 5 hundredths. Because it takes 100 pennies to make up a whole dollar, right? And it takes 10 dimes to make up a whole dollar. So today we're going to talk about the value of each numbers, how much each number is worth. If I have this, that's not going to fit, is it? Oh. Try a little smaller. Just add the S to the end. If I have that number, it's in word form right now, I would like for you to put it in standard form in the place value chart that you've drawn on your desk. When I say put it in standard form, like this is word form. Standard form would be like this. You probably say number form, but now you know the term. It's called standard form. So you're going to write this number in standard form on your place value chart.
You guys have to look at what Ms. Evelyn wrote.
Okay, 24 thousandths. Did you hear the word and in there? Is the word and anywhere in there? No. But it ends in a THS, right? Which means it's only part of a number. So where do you think our number is going to begin? Before or after the decimal? After the decimal, because it's just part of a number. If it said and, that means we would have a whole number with it, right? 24 thousandths. Well, if I have the number 24, what's the last number in the number 24? What's the last number in the number 24? What's the last number in 24?
0.
And this number right here, what's the last digit?
4.
4. What's the word that you say when you finish this 24 thousandths? Thousandths. So where's the 4 going to go? Good. The 4 will go in the thousands place. This is the easiest way that I know to do this for you guys, because when you start writing larger numbers, look at the last number. What place are they talking about? The final thing they say is thousands, and then work your way backwards. Would you put the 2 over here, or in the tenths or the hundredths? And then can we just leave a blank after the decimal? What do we need? A 0. So 24 hundredths in standard form looks like this. I mean thousandths, excuse me. Are those both the same numbers? In word form and standard form? Are they the same? Yes, we have a term for that. It's called equivalent. That means they're equal. Word form, 24 thousandths, is the same as decimal 024. They're equivalent numbers. Let's look at another problem. Okay, word form. 1 and 324 thousandths. Write that on your place value chart in standard form. Write that on your place value chart. Okay, this one was a little tricky for some of us. Let's look at this. If I have a number right here, what would that number be? 1,000. If I have a number here, what would it be?
It would be
100. Yep. If I had a number here, what would it be? 1. When I read the word form, do I read 1,000? Do I read 100? Or do I read 1? I read 1. So everybody, where will my 1 go? Which column will it go to? Everybody. 1's place. Well, here's the magic word right here. And what does that mean? If you're still writing on your desk, you need to be paying attention, because we're solving that problem right now. It means a decimal. So, is my 1 right next to the decimal? 1 and where are the rest of the numbers going to go? Where do you think the rest of the numbers are going to go? Before or after the decimal? After. So if you have a 3, right here. That won't work because we've already taken care of the whole number. 324 thousandths. Well, let's think about that a minute. What's going to be the last number in that problem? 4. And what place is that 4 going to be in? In the thousands place. That leaves me with 2 other numbers that go in front of it. What's going to go in front of that? 324 thousandths. What are my 2 missing numbers? Exactly. If you're getting confused, do like I do. Start with the last digit that you have. The last digit, it says, is 4. And what place is the 4 in? It's in the thousandths place. Now, remember that little handy-dandy trick I also showed you the other day? When I have a number like this, I cover the decimal and I read that number by itself. Everybody read that number to me. No, I just covered the decimal. 324. Is it still thousandths if I have a decimal that's covered? No. See, the problem is that sometimes you can't get out of the mindset that there's a decimal there, and sometimes you panic and you think, I can't do this, especially if you're not looking at me right now or if you're playing with stuff. That doesn't help either. But cover the decimal and then read it like just a regular number. If I read that like a regular number right now, everybody, what would I say? 324. Then I go in and uncover the decimal, and I see it's in the 3rd place. What is the name in the 3rd place? Thousandths. So to read that, 324. Okay, so you shouldn't have a 3 over here. Does that make sense? Cover the decimal. Okay, our next number. $608 thousandths. Did you hear the word "and" anywhere in there? No. Did you hear something that said thousand or thousandths? Thousandths. Which side of the decimal are we going to be on? Give me a thumbs up if we're going to be on the left side of the decimal. Give me a thumbs down if we're going to be working on the right side of the decimal. Okay, good. There's no whole number, so I'm not even paying attention to these right now. Your job now is to fill in your place value chart with the number 608 thousandths. This one might be a little tricky. Let's look at this. 608 thousandths. What if I were to do this, cover this? Because I don't care about that right now. I know it's on the other side of the decimal, right? How do I read that number? Okay, so you read the number 608. Raise your hand if you can tell me what the number 608 looks like. I'm talking right now. Markers are put away. Just tell me how you would write the number. 608. That number says 608, right? Well, let's try uncovering the thousandths now. Where's our final number going to be?
In thousands.
In the thousandths. And that number was 8, right? What number is going to go right next to it?
0.
And what number is going to go next to that?
6.
Okay, when I was walking around, I was seeing some of this. Cover the decimal. What's that number? 68. Did that say 608? Did you just say 608? Nope. If you wrote it like this, it would be 68. But the number is 608. See, they try to trick you and raise your hand if you can read that number to me. 1/10. Raise your hand if you can read that number to me.
1/10.
No. You want to try again? 1/10. Everybody, what's this number? Everybody, what's this number? Are they the same thing? So you mean to tell me that if I have a 1 right here, that is also the same as this? Really? Let's try another one then. I'm going to try to trick you this time. Who can read that one? We have a few brave people. 600ths? Do you guys agree? Wonder what that would look like as a decimal. 600ths. What does that look like? When you write 600ths as a decimal in standard form, what does that look like?
It's
006. How many places over is the hundredths place? 2 places? So you mean to tell me that this number right here might be the same as that number right there? Everybody, read the first one to me. Everybody, read the second one to me. So, are you telling me that this number right here would be the same as that? This number on the bottom we call the denominator. You don't have to know that word yet, so don't memorize it because you're already learning enough. But the bottom number is 100, right? So you say 100. What do you say when you read that on the place value chart? Hundredths. They sound almost the same, hundredths. So what do you think a number would look like? I want you to try it on your desk. I want you to make 54 thousandths as a fraction. I wonder what that would look like if 6 over 100 says 6/100ths. Try 54 thousandths as a fraction. I see I can't fool you guys because 54 thousandths is the same as now let's think about this. Let's say you're kind of having a hard time remembering what goes on the bottom or what your denominator is going to be. How many numbers would it take to fill up the thousandths place, to go all the way to the thousands? How many numbers would that take? 3. How many zeros does 1,000 have in it? 3. So if you get confused sometime, you think, I can't remember what number goes on the bottom. Well, think about, you're going to have 3 zeros on the bottom to get to this place, right? How many zeros will you have on the bottom to get to hundreds? 2. How many zeros are in 100? Everybody show me with your fingers. How many zeros are in 100? 100. How many zeros? So do you see how that works? I think I need to try something tricky now then, because obviously that one didn't stump you guys. That was too easy. Let's try something different. I want you to attempt that number, and when I come around, I'm going to be looking for this number written in your place value chart in standard form. In this one, I see a number that is larger than the rest of the number. Raise your hand if you can tell me what that number is called. Starts with a W. Yes, ma'am. What do you think you call it? A whole number. This is part of a number. So, it says, if I were to read this number that's in front of me right now, how would I read that whole thing, that number? How would I read that? Go ahead, go for it. Three and 946 thousandths. If you're having a hard time visualizing where that would go, think about it this way. Close your eyes and say 3 and do one little part at a time. So you said 3. Did you say 30? Did you say 3,000? Did you say 300? You said 3, right? So just start simple. Break it down. 3. What was the second thing you said? And. That means you're going to have a decimal. 946 thousandths. And I couldn't trick you guys because just about everybody had the right answer going on their desk. I think I need to go a little harder on you then, obviously. Okay, try that one out. I'm going to come around. I want to see that on your place value chart. Maybe we can stump a few this time. I don't know. They're pretty smart cookies. Okay, well, everybody got it right in the class. Read it out loud to me, everybody. Okay, we need to go to something trickier, obviously. My suggestion when they say write this in word form would be to make a place value chart, write the number in the place value chart so that you know which word you will be putting at the end of that number you write. Now, let me tell you something that some of you might not know. Some of you may know this, some of you might not. Every number Every number 21 to 99 has something in between it, unless it ends in a 0, like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. What do you think that might be? When you write in word form, if I have a number like this, that is written incorrectly. So, palms up. Show me your hands, people. Okay? Put your hands together. Put them on your desk. So we're not playing with anything because you need to pay attention to what's going on the board. What is this problem missing? What is this number missing? Because it's wrong. That's not the right way to write that number. A dash, and we call that a, does anyone know what that's called? Starts with an H. No? Hyphen. So every number's 21 through 99, except for the ones that end in 0, will always have a hyphen between them. So on your desk right now, I want you to take the number I have written in the place value chart, and I want you to write it in word form. Okay, the only time you hyphenate a number, is when you say the numbers 21 through 99. So, will this number have a hyphen in it? Nope. Everybody, read that number to me. Okay, we're going to do it one word at a time. Tell me the first word you just said. Everybody.
5.
So I'm going to stop and I'm going to write down the 5. Did I say 0 when I said that? Nope. Did I say and when I said that? Nope. Did I say 5? Yes. So we're breaking it down. We did 5, so let's say the number again together.
5.
What's the next thing I'm going to write down? Thousandths. Did I say anything else? Am I done? Is that all I need to write? Does this say the same as that? If you say both numbers and they say the same thing, then you're done. You're going to write another problem on your desk. Okay, look at that number, say it in your head, and then write it word for word exactly the way you say it. Not the way you see it, but the way you say it. So think it in your head, and then write it word for word the way you would say it. So should your answer have the word 0 in it? unless when you read that number you say 0. Okay? Okay, to write this number, what is the very first word that you say when you read that number?
11.
11. I say the word 11. What is the second word I say? And. What's the third word I say?
Okay, 37.
But what's the next word? Just one word.
30. And you have to have a hyphen.
30. And then what do I need?
You need a 7. Before that, you put a hyphen.
But then, yep, you're right. Before that, I put a hyphen. Because the number 37 is between 21 and 99, right? That looks good. I think I'm done. Am I done? Am I done? I feel done. I feel done. It's Friday.
You have to write thousands.
Thousandths. Don't forget the ending. Eleven and 37 thousandths. I'm going to take this one step further. They don't tell me to take this one step further, but I'm going to try it because I think that you guys are rock stars and you can get this. I want you to write that number on your desk right now like you would if you were doing a fraction. So instead of writing out with the decimal, I want you to use your fractions and show me that. 11 and 37 thousandths. I kind of like to think of it this way. When I say a number and I'm thinking in the form of fractions, well, you know, the decimals, these are fractions too. They're just written differently. So if I were to say 11 and I say put it in fraction form, show me how to write that in fractions, eyeballs up here, nothing on or under your hands or anywhere else. Everything before the decimal is starts with a W. Everybody tell me at once. Everything after the decimal is a part. So it's fraction, right? My whole number in this case is 11. Well, if I'm doing fractions, instead of putting a decimal, I'm going to draw a line. Just like that. That right there says and. That's my decimal. 37. What place is it in? Thousands. How many zeros are in 1,000? 3. 3 places over. That means we're going to put it above 1,000. It's 3 places over. It has 3 zeros. Okay, I have that number, 70, right? And we know that every one of these places, in order to move over, what do I multiply by?
You multiply by 100.
Okay, if I want to go from this place to this place, I would multiply by 100. If I wanted to go from the ones place to the next place over, what would I multiply by? 10. If I wanted to go from the ones place to the last, what would I multiply by?
1,000.
I'd multiply by 1,000. Right now my 7 is in the tens column. what would I multiply by to get to the tens column? To get from the ones column to the tens, what would I have to multiply by? 10. How would I get this number then? What would the equation say? What would it be? One times 10? 1 times 10 would be 10, but what if I want to get to 70? Go ahead. 1 times 7? No. 1 times 70? How much is each column worth? 10. So you can either do 10, 100, or thousands. 10 times 7, or I could say 7 times 10, right? What if I had a number there? We know that first number is 5, right? Right? And we're going to multiply by something. With that last number, we multiplied by 10, right? But what is the tenths column worth? What is that worth? It's just a part, right? It's a fraction. So what would that look like as a fraction? 5 times, what would my fraction be? What do you think?
Your fraction would be like,
Oh, what do you think?
5 tenths.
5/10? Well, I already have the 5, so what do you think? 5 times 14? Try again. 1 whole? 10? What do we say this was equal to? Let's see. Remember this? 1/10 is the same as, right? So this place right here is also the same as 1/10. What's this place the same as? 1/100ths. And this is the same as? So what do you think I have to multiply the 5 by to make it the same as 5/10? What do you think, sir? What do you think? 5 times 2? I don't know, maybe. What do you think? You had your hand up? 5 times 2? Well, let's see. If we had the 7 over here and we said that was 7 times 10, and this column is worth 10, and this column's worth 1, and this column's worth 100, and this column's worth 1,000, and when we had a number in this place, we said 7 times 10, but now we have a number in that place. What do you think I'm going to multiply it by? 10? Well, if we multiplied it by 10, it would be over here. What do you think?
100.
100? Look at the columns, guys. We multiply that by 1. We multiply this by 10. We multiply this by 100. By 1,000. What do you think this one is going to be multiplied by? Let's see if we're right. 5 5 times 1/10, you would have your decimal right here. And it'd be the same as 5/10. Let me teach you what I would do in this situation. If a number is in this column right here, what's it going to be multiplied by? Everybody. If a number is in this column, what's it going to be multiplied by? In this column? This column? And then we have the decimal, we break it down. 1/10. I was going to show you how to check your answer, but it would be too much. So, if I were to multiply a number by something in that column, what would I multiply by? And in this column? Because we have been learning this week that in order to get from this place to this place, you have to multiply. In order to move from one place or another, you have to multiply. And in every case, it's going to be 1,000, 100, 10, and so on, as far as you can go. Okay, eyeballs up here, because I'm going to do something. I want you on your desk to write, we're going to do a long problem. So, we're going to just start with this number first. On your desk, start at the far left because it's going to be long. I want you to write 7 times whatever place that is in. So this is the same as 7 times 10. Let's look at the next number. Don't erase this. You need to keep that on your desk. 7 times 10. Because now we're going to add another number to our place value chart. And if we add another number to our place value chart, you put the plus sign. And I'm going to add the number 4. On your desk, next to the plus sign, I want you to write 4 times whichever number you think you're going to multiply by to get the 4. So in order to get 4, what do I have to multiply 4 by? Because 4 times 1 is 4. Here comes another number. So if I'm adding a number to my place value chart, I'm going to put a plus. So I want you to finish that one for me. Think about what place it's in and what are you going to multiply the 6 times. Okay, this is in the 10th place, so we're going to take it times 1/10. I'm going to add another number, I think. Let me see. Yep. Here's another number we have that we're adding to it. This new number is going to be a 9 in the hundredths column. So you're going to write 9 times what? Okay, to get this, I would say 9 times 1/100th. And if I were to add another number, the number 2, everybody, what will I multiply by 2 times
1,000.
and this, my friends, right here, is the same as this, is the same as this, and is the same as word form 74 and 692 thousandths. Now, here's my favorite part of the lesson. I just gave you all of the answers to part of the problem set, and I will allow you to use those in your assignment. So, if you paid attention, you'll do well. Because I know you've already erased all the answers from your desks, so this is kind of going to be like a review. You just work through all these problems, and then as part of your homework, you will be working through those again and writing them down and keeping them.